Good evening, and thank you for tuning into Lewis University Television Network. Today is Thursday, February 5th, 2026. I'm Brandon Najera.
And I'm Christian Kluber.
Breaking news tonight as hundreds of ICE agents in Minneapolis have been ordered to leave the city, leaving approximately 2,000 ICE agents on the ground. Donald Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, adding that a total drawdown would depend on cooperation with local and state law enforcement. Homan also acknowledged that the conduct of some of those agents quickly sparked outrage, which led to the fatal shootings of 2 U.S. citizens. The administration plans to roll out body-worn cameras nationwide, beginning with a focused deployment in Minneapolis. Homan says targeted enforcement operations will focus on national security and public safety threats, but he also added that those in the country illegally are not off the table.
The Justice Department under fire tonight, facing criticism for redacting information about individuals who may have aided in the Jeffrey Epstein case. In a 2014 email released in files, a person writes to Epstein, quote, "Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty." But the identity of that individual who wrote that message is redacted. The release files also show numerous email exchanges that appear to describe the persecution of women. New Brazilian just released and arrived sexy and cute, 19 years old. A 2013 email to Epstein reads that the DOJ official said in a statement to CNN that many redacted names are female victims. Names of law enforcement officers were also among the redactions. House Speaker Mike Johnson said on Wednesday that President Donald Trump shouldn't have to testify the House's Jeffrey Epstein investigation, despite Trump's name appearing more than 1,000 times in Epstein files released just by the Justice Department.
Equifax is being accused of price gouging states in regards to Medicaid programs. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren, Ron Wyden, and Independent Senator Bernie Sanders wrote a letter to the company's chief executive asking for answers regarding its business practices. The senators allege the credit rating company has a, quote, long history of anti-competitive behavior. A spokesman for the Equifax says the company will respond through the proper channels. Many states use an Equifax program called the Work Number, which quickly verifies a Medicaid applicant's work hours and wage. According to a New York Times probe quoted in the senator's letter, Equifax often raises the price for the work number.
The search continues for the Today Show anchor Savannah Gutierrez's 84-year-old mother, Nancy Gutierrez. Part of the day on Wednesday, crime scene tape went up along the entire length of the Gutierrez property. Nancy Gutierrez family reported her missing on Sunday. However, on Tuesday, sheriff officials said investigations were working through any data that may be available about a pacemaker. The Pima County Sheriff's Office spoke about samples of the DNA found in Gutierrez's home. Meanwhile, though, at least 2 outlets, including a TV station in Tucson, reported that they received what appeared to be a ransom note. In a post on X, the Sheriff's Department said it was aware of the reports involving possible ransom notes in the case, adding a statement that there wasn't any credible information indicted at the targeted incident.
The Supreme Court has cleared the way for California to use a new voting map that Republicans have fought against. The Trump administration claimed one of the districts was redrawn based on race instead of politics. The court sided with the state with no noted dissent in their decision Wednesday. California's redistricting, which benefits Democrats, came after a redistricting in Texas's that benefited Republicans. California's new map will put 5 GOP seats in play and was approved by 2/3 of the state's voters in a referendum. A Supreme Court previously approved Texas's redistricting, which also puts 5 House seats into play. States normally redraw voting maps once a decade in coordination with a new census. President Trump has pushed for mid-decade redistricting ahead of midterm elections in November, in hopes of holding on to Republican control of the House for the remainder of his presidency. Up next, international news. We'll be right back, Lewis.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought-after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong, growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my third child who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Well, a new study predicts an additional 9 million people could die by 2030 if international aid cuts continue. The fatalities include about 2.5 million children who researchers say might otherwise not survive. The study in the journal Lancet looks at the dismantling of the U.S. Agency for International Development. It also factors in reductions from the United Kingdom, Germany, Canada, and other countries. The study is from the Barcelona Institute for Global Health, and it relies on existing data to calculate projections.
The government of Colombia extradited Andrés Felipe Marin Silva, alias Pipe Talua, to the United States. He's a man convicted in Colombia for multiple homicides and accused of drug trafficking in a Texas court. Colombia's national police said in a statement Tuesday that the extradition also involved the country's Attorney General's office and, on the U.S. side, the Drug Enforcement Administration and U.S. Marshal Service. According to police, Marin Silva was sentenced in Colombia to 30 years in prison for his responsibility in multiple homicides in the southwest of the country. Despite being imprisoned since 2015, he continued coordinating criminal activities, which increased his risk level. In the United States, police said Marin Silva has faced a formal drug trafficking charge since 2024 and since 2025 an arrest warrant for extradition. The extradition was announced just hours before Colombian President Gustavo Petro is set to meet privately in Washington with his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump after a year of tension between the two.
Russia launched its biggest missile attack and drone attack on Ukraine so far this year on Tuesday, according to Ukrainian authorities, cutting heat to tens of thousands of people and ending a brief ceasefire agreed by Moscow and Washington as the Ukrainians grapple with plummeting winter temperatures. Last week, Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed to pause on attacking major Ukrainian cities and energy infrastructure until Sunday, following a personal request from United States President Donald Trump. The pause also came following talks between Russia, Ukraine, and the United States in Abu Dhabi, the first such as talks since Moscow's invasion in February 2022. Ukrainian President Zelensky and Russian attacks was focused on energy facilities across at least 6 regions and involved 70 missiles and 450 attack drones, which is the largest attack so far this year.
President Donald Trump on Monday announced he would reduce tariffs on Indian goods in exchange for a promise to stop buying Russian oil. That will be a tall task. India has been importing roughly 1.5 million barrels of Russian oil each day, even months after Trump placed tariffs on Indian goods as punishment. Trump said in a social media post that he spoke Monday morning with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who agreed to replace the country's Russian crude imports with oil from Venezuela and the United States. It's not clear how long that transition may take. Venezuela's oil infrastructure is in despair and requires about a decade of work and tens of billions of investment dollars to return it to the more than 3 million barrels a day output it had achieved before the country's socialist government took control in 1999. India also buys more oil from Russia than Venezuela produces. India is a major purchaser of Russian oil, which has been sanctioned by most Western countries because of President Vladimir Putin's war with Ukraine. China buys significantly more Russian oil than India. Unlike India, China hasn't faced additional tariffs for purchasing Russian oil.
Italy's interior minister is working to calm nerves ahead of the Olympics regarding ICE sending officials to the Games. Matteo Piantiglione said that the Italian parliament collaboration with his country's authorities is nothing new. He cited a 17-year-old agreement between Italian officials and the agency that has existed since 2014. Piantiglione said that he insisted that ICE will not carry out police activities or restrict the sovereignty of Italian law enforcement. This mirrors the White House's position, which has said that ICE has had a history of providing security at the Olympic Games. The Interior Minister's comments didn't sway all the Italian lawmakers. However, the presence of the agents at the Olympics became controversial in Italy after a high-profile shooting and immigration sweeps the United States. We'll be right back with stories from Chicago and the surrounding areas.
Oh, right. Look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy told him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
On Wednesday, Molly's Cupcake franchise owner Doriana Isufi visited Lewis University to share her insights and to deliver a little sweetness to a student-centered entrepreneurship experience. With more is Christian Kluver.
Lewis University brought a little sweetness to campus this week, welcoming entrepreneur and business leader Dori Isufi, franchise owner for numerous Molly Cupcake locations. Students from all majors filled the St. Charles Borromeo Hall to hear Isufi share her journey from opening a single location to multiple stores across the area.
It's always challenging running a business. Rewarding part of it is really believing in myself and taking the risks to opening the business and making the best product, of course.
The event was organized by the Innovation Hub, Entrepreneurial Club, and Women in Business, whipping up inspiration for students to take part in the university's annual business pitch competition.
Well, big risks come with big rewards. So when you push yourself and you believe in yourself that you can do it, opening all those locations, it's really been the big scare, right? But believing in the product, believing in our people has made this product successful with the locations and everything that we've done.
From flour to sugar, eggs to icing, running a business is just like baking a cupcake. It's a step-by-step process, but in the end, you always hope the result is sweet. The event was organized by the Innovation Hub, whipping up inspiration for students to take part in the university's annual business pitch competition.
The reason why I wanted to bring Dory in from Molly's Cupcakes so badly was we have the Brother Joe Damien business pitch competition, and that's one thing that's our flagship event of getting student-first entrepreneurship going. And I think what's a better way to inspire a student population than bringing an immigrant entrepreneur in here that, kind of came here with just, a dream and a vision. She created her own version of the American dream, and now she's gone from one location to 6.
Students say hearing from a real business owner made the entrepreneurial journey and recipe for success seem more achievable.
She's working for them, not them working for her. And it's in the same concept of leaders eat last, and how you're for the business. Not just the business being for you per se. And it's a lot more work than people think it is, and it comes in waves. That's a lot of people get discouraged when they hit pitfalls. But as long as they can strategize, they can pivot outward.
With cupcakes in hand and big ideas in mind, students left the event feeling motivated and ready to mix their passion into purpose. For LUTV, I'm Christian Kluver.
Thank you, Christian. Locally, the Lockport Township Sheriff's deputies are investigating a vehicle that was found crashed and damaged by gunfire earlier this week. Authorities say the car was unoccupied when officers arrived at the scene. Evidence of bullet strikes was discovered on the vehicle's exterior. No injuries have been reported in connection with the incident. Investigators questioned several people as part of the case. The sheriff's office is asking anyone with information to come forward.
Lewis University hosted a community service event this week, focused on sustainability and public safety. Residents were able to recycle electronics, shared confidential documents, and dispose of seasonal waste. Students volunteered around campus to help run the event. Organizers say that the goal was to make the environmental services more accessible to the community. Dozens of local families attended throughout the day, and the university plans to host similar events to this in the future. Up next, entertainment with Michelle Stowe.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
Kendall Jenner is taking shots at her exes while highlighting sports betting in her first ever Super Bowl ad. In the commercial for Fanatics Sportsbook, Jenner talks about placing bets on her NBA ex-boyfriends and winning big as she shows off her luxury lifestyle featuring a mansion, vintage car, and private jet. She laughingly says, "How else do you think I could afford all this?" The ad will run during the Super Bowl on Sunday, February 8th. There's a fresh addition to a boys and girls club in Motown, thanks to 3 top-tier stars. Artists Big Sean, Usher, and Sean Woodward have combined to invest $1 million into the facility. It's called an innovation hub to encourage the creativity of local youth to chart their future careers. The unveiling was Tuesday in Detroit. The hub on the facility's 5th floor has state-of-the-art studios for media production, podcasting, and special effects. There are also fashion design rooms. The 68th Annual Grammy Awards featured powerful performances preaching on politics, and some big names taking home equally big awards. Lady Gaga, The Cure, and Mavis Staples were among the night's other multiple Grammy winners. The Dalai Lama, at age 90, won his first Grammy for Best Audiobook, and Steven Spielberg achieved EGOT status, winning his first Grammy for co-producing music by John Williams, which won for Best Music Film. Additionally, a historic moment for an overwhelmed Bad Bunny as he accepted 3 Grammys, including Album of the Year. Barry Manilow announces a postponement of his Las Vegas shows due to health reasons. The 82-year-old just had surgery to remove a cancerous spot from one of his lungs in December. Manilow says he will use this time off to help ensure he's fully recovered. People who bought tickets for the shows in Las Vegas will get a full refund from the place of purchase. In a statement on Instagram, the singer-songwriter said he's been exercising and working in the studio, which he describes as, quote, fantastic. Manilow is scheduled to start his 2026 arena tour on February 27th in Tampa. Turning Point USA has announced the lineup for its Super Bowl halftime show, and it's more than a little bit country. It will be headlined by Kid Rock and also feature country artists Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett. The show is being put on by the conservative organization as an alternative to the NFL's halftime show. Kid Rock says it's for people who don't want to see Bad Bunny wearing a dress and singing in Spanish. As an ally of the LGBTQ community, Bad Bunny has been known to wear dresses in public, although there is no confirmation he will do so during the performance. The Puerto Rican performer is expected to sing almost entirely in Spanish. Turning Point USA will stream its show on its social channels. Up next, Sharon Sherian with health.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
There's a new reason to consider the Mediterranean diet. A new long-term study published Wednesday found that the plant-forward eating style may lower stroke risk for women. Researchers followed more than 100,000 women who are part of a study that began in 1995, and those who ate a Mediterranean diet were 18% less likely to have any type of stroke. The diet emphasizes vegetables, fruits, beans, nuts, fish, and olive oil. It limits consuming meat and dairy and allows for moderate alcohol consumption. Past studies have found the Mediterranean diet may lower the risk for dementia, gum disease, depression, breast cancer, and diabetes. This new research was published in the journal Neurology Open Access. The Trump administration is expected to soon launch a new prescription drug online platform. The website will be named Trump RX. The new prescription site will allow patients to buy certain medicines at a discounted price directly from drug makers. It's unclear if the direct-to-consumer purchases will be lower for those who forego the insurance route and pay cash. President Donald Trump has been pushing for lower health costs. Trump says he has landed deals with nearly 20 pharmaceutical companies to list certain products on the Trump RX portal. The website is expected to officially debut on Thursday. One of this year's Super Bowl ads takes a light approach to a heavy topic, prostate cancer screening. A group of NFL tight end star in the Novartis ad called Relax Your Tight End. It encourages early screening with a less invasive blood test. The guys are shown floating in pools, holding yoga poses, and doing something they're not known for, chilling out. It's all to drive home a simple point: relax. There's a better way to get screened. The ad also features Super Bowl winning coach Bruce Arians, a prostate cancer survivor, who narrates the spot and credits early detection with saving his life. Wisconsin health officials have confirmed a case of measles at a university. They say a student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison tested positive for the disease. The student was reportedly exposed to measles during international travel. Officials don't know if the student was fully vaccinated against measles. The student is recovering and lives in an off-campus apartment. Officials say they're working to identify anyone who may have been exposed. This marks the second measles case confirmed in Wisconsin this year. Up next, weather with Christian Kluver and sports with Jaden Elmore.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Good afternoon, Flyers, and welcome back to your weather segment for this week. Let's look around the area. Tonight's low temperatures. When we get up north, it's pretty consistent all around 29 on Waukegan, 29 in Island Lake, 28 all the way in Rockford. When we get down south where we are around Joliet, Cicero area, same thing. We're going to be between 28 and 29. Go all the way out in Easton, Indy, 24 in Valparaiso, 23 in LaPorte, 22 in South Bend, and out west in Ottawa, we're going to be sitting about 28. Tonight's high, same thing, pretty consistent all around the area. We jump into the city, we're going to be around 31. You get out east and South Bend, we drop to the 20s, 25 in Valparaiso, 23 out in South Bend. And then all the way out west, Rockford, Aurora area is going to be around 36. Our radar, completely clear for now. We should be good tonight. Tomorrow there might be some showers that roll in, but all around here we should be good. Maybe some light sprinkle might come down near Joliet, maybe past Aurora, but after that we should be good. And our temperature changes. Biggest one was up in Rockford, an 11-degree shift today. But then down to Joliet, it was only 6 degrees. And Lansing out east, it was 1. Get down to Indy, it was almost nothing out in South Bend. And to wrap up for our 7-day outlook, today and tomorrow, it's going to be cloudy both days. 31 was our high today. 37 is going to be our high tomorrow. Saturday and Sunday, we got a pretty good weekend, partly cloudy, 24 on Saturday, and 31 is going to be our high on Sunday. The low is going to be 21 and 22. And then out to the next week, we are finally getting some sunshine. Those temperatures are going up. 39 is going to be on Monday. 42 is going to be on Wednesday. And we're going to end out the week 35 and partly cloudy. That was all for your weather forecast this week. We're going to pass over to Jaden Elmore with sports.
A Detroit Lions fan is seeking $100 million in damages after an on-field altercation with Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf. Video from a December game at Ford Field shows Metcalf appearing to swipe at a fan, Ryan Kennedy, following a brief exchange near the sideline. Kennedy's lawsuit filed Tuesday names Metcalf, the Steelers' former NFL receiver Chad Johnson, Ford Field management, and several media outlets. He claims the group made defamatory statements that caused significant harm after the incident. Kennedy is also pursuing separate assault and battery claims against Metcalf. Metcalf has accused Kennedy of using a racial slur and another insult directed at his mother, allegations Kennedy denies. Lewis University is projected to finish third in the GLVC women's golf standing after earning 122 points in the league's preseason coaches poll. The Flyers trailed Missouri St. Louis, which collected 135 points and 3 first-place votes, and Indianapolis, the preseason favorite, with 139 points and 10 first-place votes. Head coach Greg Baruchel enters his third season guiding a program ranked 56th nationally in Division II and 10th in the East region by Clipped. Lewis carries significant momentum into the spring after closing the 3 with consecutive tournament victories, including individual titles from Kendall Farm and Sophia Lawler. The team also set multiple scoring records during the fall, reinforcing its rise toward a historic regional profile. The Flyers return to competition March 9th through the 10th at Pawleys Island Invitational in South Carolina. Lewis University's lacrosse landed 2 players on the USILA preseason All-American list, with defender Tyler Davis earning second team honors and attacker Carter Korzensky named to the third team. Davis, a returning USILA All-American, started all 17 games last season and collected all GLVC first team recognition for the second straight year. He finished the 2025 campaign with 48 ground balls, 25 caused turnovers, and added 4 points on offense. Korzensky arrives at Lewis after a standout season at Limestone, where he totaled 47 points, ranking among the Southern Athletic Conference top players in both goals and assists. His performance earned him USA Lacrosse All-American Honorable Mention status to close the year. The Flyers, now 1-0 after a win over Northwood, opened their home schedule Saturday at noon against Walsh. Hype is building for what's expected to be one of the most anticipated Super Bowls in recent years. This year's matchup carries extra energy because both the New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks enter as unexpected underdogs. Neither team was projected to reach the championship, with preseason odds placing them at more than 50-1. Beyond the game itself, the Super Bowl's unmatched entertaining value is drawing attention, especially with global superstar Bad Bunny set to headline at the halftime show. His performance is expected to bring a massive international audience as he sings almost entirely in Spanish. Kickoff for Super Bowl 60 is set for Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, where the stage is set for a night that could redefine the underdog story. The 2026 Winter Olympics are finally here. This year's games will take place in Milan Cortina from February 6th through the 22nd. Ski mountaineering will make its debut at the Games, adding 3 more medal events, bringing the total number of events to 116. Fans are still able to watch familiar events such as ice hockey, curling, skating, and skiing. About 90 countries will send their best athletes to compete for the Olympic gold. Team USA will set a record by sending 234 athletes, which is most they have entered sent for a Winter Olympics. The opening ceremony will take place this Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time, lasting about 3 hours, with primetime encore airing at 8 p.m. Coverage on everything Olympic related can be found live on NBC or streamed on Peacock. That's it for sports this week. We'll be right back with Brandon and Christian right after this.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
That's it for today's news. As a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis University Television Network on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and by visiting our YouTube channel. I'm Brandon Najera.
And I'm Christian Kluber. Have a great night, and we will see you next week.